Yes guys, the title of this video is not clickbait, and exactly what you see on your screen is not a fluke. At the beginning of last week, I relegated to Division 5 and now I'm in Division 2, and I'm going to be giving you guys 5 different tips on how to fly divisions. Tip number 1, corners and kickoffs. Corners and kickoffs are broken this year, and the thing about FIFA is you always have to abuse what is broken. It's there for the taking. It's going to be used against you, so you might as well learn it, you know. Now, the ironic part of this is the goal that sent me to Division 2 was a kickoff goal. Straight off the bat, send it to your winger, cut it back to the middle, send it into the box and pray. That is how kickoffs work this year, and I'm going to show you an example of how to make your kickoff better. I know I said there will be an example of how to make your kickoff better, but there is no exact skill to kickoff. You just have to be as direct as possible and to make the right passes. Make the passes to the person who's open and don't pass backwards. Go forward as much as you can, be as direct as you can, and you definitely get at least a shot on target or a corner kick. And of course, that's still a really good situation to find yourself in. Majority of the kickoffs that I play or kickoffs that I do, it's just me going forward. I'm sending runs, L1 runs, sending in a lot of runs. I sent my midfielders on a run, my playmakers on a run, I send my winger on a run, I send my striker on a run, then I just give whoever is available quick 1-2 passes. The defenders are bugging, like the DDA is insane this year when it comes to kickoff, so you have to take advantage of it. Expect that your opponent is relaxed because they just scored a goal, or the defenders are relaxed because in the game they just scored a goal. So just try to be as direct as possible. I cut it to the outside of the box, I send it into the box and just shoot. There's always going to be an opportunity for a dangerous situation. The second thing I'm going to talk about is corner kicks. Corner kicks are even more broken than kickoffs, in my opinion. I will never take a corner as a cross into the box. All my corners till the end of 26 or till they fix this are going to be short corners, because all you have to do is send the ball to somebody at the edge of the box. If there's no one at the edge of the box, send it to the back, give it back to the edge of the box, look for somebody inside the box, pass, spin, and even if you don't score the situation, because there's so many people up top, it's already a dangerous attack for you, which would always lead to a goal. You could check out the various clips that I'm putting here. I send the ball to whoever is short, look for somebody at the edge of the box, another pass, look for somebody into the box. If you don't win the ball, it's still gonna be messy. Trust me, short corners are basically a final third attack for you. I feel like sending the ball with crosses into the box is just wasting an attack, because it's a 50-50 situation that the header goes in. So why not just create one final attack for yourself? Because this is basically an attack in my opponent's box. A spin around, there'll always be an opportunity for a dangerous situation. Now, straight on to the tactics and formation. This is the team that I set up with. You can see a lot of my midfielders have pluses right there, because your midfield is the strongest and most important part of this tactic. It's basically the diamond. The striker all the way to all the midfielders are so important in this tactic, and if you have a way of having or letting them have role pluses, that is going to be so effective for you. Now, straight on to the tactics. My build-up style is counter, my defensive approach is high. I think playing with a deep line in this game just invites a lot of pressure for yourself. And build-up style being counter, let your team sit back nice and compact and only steps up when you have the ball. So when you're defending with 10 men. When you're attacking with about 7 men. Now, as for the roles, ball playing keeper or my keeper, I feel like you can use any role for the goalkeeper. That is not really a problem, but because Raya has a plus there, I'm going to use that. Defender, defend for your center backs. That really never changes. Now, wing back or my left back. As you're going to see in the game that I'm going to show you, you see how important the wing back role is. You don't need to trigger your left back. The runs that they make is so automatic. But I'll give you one tip though. It's very important that the left back that you're using is very fast, because you need to be able to pull the left back into position every time you get countered, which might seem hard, but it really isn't. Then I have my left mid on inside forward. You could use Chiesa, Rashford, Nico Williams, Vinicius Jr. These are all fantastic people for that tactic. Of course, Mbappe as well, if you can afford him. Then we have a right mid on wide playmaker. That's kind of like a new role. Not necessarily a new role. It's been there in 25. But what I mean by new is not many people use this role. But this is really important because of the combination with Pina and Pedri. And for our right center mid, of course, we have playmaker, left center mid, box to box. And for our DM, we have holding. The pluses on these three men is way more important than you can ever imagine. If you can afford only a plus, that is good as well. But if you can let at least two of them have pluses, you're in for something really great. And poacher up top, you'll find that despite me having Pina as a poacher, the amount of times she gets involved in the game is really fantastic. She would always be the out ball. Your striker would always be the out ball in this situation, and your striker would almost be a playmaker in this tactic. Yes, the striker is on poacher. The striker is not on false nine. The striker is not on advanced forward support. The striker is on poacher attack, and the striker would still drop deep a lot of times to receive the ball. That's why having a striker with incisive base or incisive plus is really important. The next things I'm going to talk about are attacking style and defensive style. And to do this, I'm going to go into a game that I played in Division 3 on my way to Division 2. Let's see what this guy is using. So I think he's set up with a 4-3-3 flat, or it might be a 4-2-1-3, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's probably a 4-3-3 attack. And yeah, nothing too crazy. I usually like to look at the team just to know what you come up against, because if it's a team way better than you, then you have to set up differently. But as I mentioned in kickoffs, try to be as direct as possible. Try to see if I can score immediately. I never pass backwards in kickoff. I win the ball nicely here, quick 1-2 with my striker. Every time I take the ball out wide, I try to look for a cut back into the box or at the edge of the box. Here we find one and get a shot away, but it's just wayward. And now it's a counter attack. I tried to stick to my rule of defending with just my midfielder while waiting for my team to drop back, but I switched to my center back too early and he has me spamming tackles, and I'm just spamming tackles at this point, and that's just horrible, and I get punished for it. So I'm immediately one goal down, so we have to sit up now. We have another kickoff though to try to see what we can make of this. I'm being as direct as possible again. My wingback goes on a run, and that's the effectiveness of the wingback role there. And we look for a cutback back at the edge of the box. Pina there. We don't have a goal actually, but you see what I talk about. You know, kickoffs are really dangerous, and we have a short corner again. We look for a pass at the edge of the box. Quick 1-2s. We find Pina. Turn, spin. We have a shot. Kickoffs and corner kicks, you're seeing them in effect right now. This is one of the dangers of a short corner, when you lose the ball and you're prone to a counter attack. So you have to try to keep the ball as best as you can, because now I think he has a shot away, and luckily Ryer saves us in that situation, and he takes his corner in. And I like when my opponent takes their corners in, because I know that there's a low possibility of conceding. You have a higher possibility of conceding when it's a short corner. Let's see what happens in this situation. Yeah, I'm defending pretty poorly here, but I'll show you how to defend in this tactic nevertheless. We have an opportunity to come forward, we lose the ball, and immediately we're dropping back with our midfielders. The cursor is on Gravenberch, and only when the ball is in the final third of the pitch is when we switch to our center back, and we made him uncomfortable there, so he didn't have a proper shot because of that. Have another opportunity to come forward. I don't know why I'm playing this way, but we finally get the ball out, and it's on our wide playmaker. Quick 1-2, striker to playmaker, and now we're already 1v1 with Pina. You're gonna have many opportunities like this. Majority of these attacks come for the right because you have three playmakers: your striker, your right center mid who's also a playmaker, and your wide playmaker on the right. So majority of your build up is gonna come from the right in this formation as well. Have another opportunity to come forward and immediately we switch it to the right. You see, from the right to the striker builds up, and now immediately we have about 5 people on an attack, but we don't do the best thing with that attack. So now we're getting countered again, and you notice I immediately switch to whoever is in the midfield to kind of pull them backwards, and because of that we win the ball without having to switch to the center backs. Another opportunity to come forward, and we should have given it to the right mid there, to be honest. And one thing that you find is I keep switching to my center mids. You switch to your center mids, you switch to your wingers. Those that should be your first defenders. I never have the opportunity for me to switch to my center back and I win the ball. There is no need for you to switch to your center back. The only opportunity or the time where you get to switch to your center back is when your opponent is in your box. And here we have another 1v1, but we missed. But we have a short corner though, so that's like a penalty for us. I'm an Arsenal fan, so corner kicks are like penalties. Send it to the edge of the box, look for someone in the box, spin, we have a penalty. I'm telling you guys, short corners are broken. Short corners are broken. It's basically an extra attack for yourself. Yeah, I'm scored the penalty down the middle. Another opportunity for my opponent to come forward, and in this situation you can see me just defending with my striker. I'm defending with my striker and my team just sits nicely. The only time I switched to my center back was because he was already in the final third, and I could get aggressive because I was winning the game. You know, now I can build up, and I think that is Barella who's my box to box, but I don't know why I did a power shot in that situation. Win the ball with my center mid, come forward again, look for somebody at the edge of the box. If you lose the ball, you switch to whoever is in the midfield without switching to your center back. Only switch to your center back when your opponent is in the box. I keep screaming this, you know. I win the ball with my midfielder and it's an opportunity to counter attack. Your striker would always be an out ball for you in this situation. Seriously, you really have to try this tactic. It's something else. Your striker is the only person who's going to be forward. So the moment you win the ball with your midfielder, driven pass to your striker and you're in. You're in, just like that. I switch the ball to my midfielders. I try to win the ball. He gets into my box, so that's an alert for me to switch to my center back. Have the ability to get aggressive in this situation, and I think it pays off. Out ball is my striker. I look for my wide playmaker, and I just kind of want to play on the right side a bit. Every time I kind of win the ball, I try to like take it towards the right side to build up for an attack. In this situation, my opponent crosses the ball into the box again, and as you know already, I'm not worried. I'm not worried if my opponent takes a cross into the box. Wide playmaker has the ball. Try to take the ball as wide as possible. I'm gonna try to look for somebody in the middle. I find Pedri. Back to my wide playmaker, and she's so strong. She's so Cascarino. She's so strong. And just like that, I have a corner kick. Short corner again. See what we can do. Look for somebody at the edge of the box. We found somebody. Look for somebody inside the box. Spin, dribble, spin. Just spin. Look for somebody inside the box, you know. And because it's an attack, we'll always keep winning the ball, you know. Pressure. And another lovely thing about this formation is just how it presses you when you're not with the ball. When you're not with the ball, your press is really fantastic. The structure is really good. And in this situation, we can look for a striker one more time. Driven shot. Yeah, that's a goal. Just like that, you know. And Barella made that pass. So one thing I might point out, or just one tip to mention, is it's gonna be really helpful if your two midfielders have incisive. It's gonna be even more helpful if all your midfielders have incisive. Incisive is top 3 best play styles this year. So as much as you can get with it, just get with it. Now we're back for the second half. Funny thing about kickoff is it's so strong that your opponent's kickoff is your kickoff as well. So if you win the ball in your opponent's kickoff, try to also be as direct as possible and see if you can get a goal, because the DDA is not over yet, and that is just crazy to me. So I try to push forward, send it to my box to box. It's just a late ball for Pina. He steps up nicely with his offside trap, so can't really do much in that situation. But then this is a situation for us to defend now. The first step is to defend with your attackers, and I'm able to do that really nicely, which get Pina almost through on goal. And I press with my attackers, then I switch to my midfielders to try to win the ball. And 90% of the time, my midfielders do win the ball. And now I have one more opportunity to come forward, 1v1 with Cascarino. And that's another result of my midfielder having incisive. Pedri has incisive, so it's pretty easy for us in these type of situations. Goals come from everywhere with this formation. Goals come from your wingers, goals come from your striker, obviously, and goals come from your two midfielders, your three midfielders actually. If they have a plus here, blessed. So I sent Pedri on a run, and look at the triangle to end it with Pedri. Oh my god, like this tactic, the goals you get from midfield is just crazy. You can replay that as much as you want, but you see that triangle, they don't make that anywhere. 4-5-1 or 4-1-4-1, the best places to see goals like that, And I defend with my striker. Once he gets past my striker, I'm able to switch to my midfielder. Then I can be as aggressive as I want now because I'm winning 5-1, But in any other scenario, I'll tell you to keep defending with your midfielder until your opponent is in your box. Now he plays his corner short. Now it's dangerous. Every time a corner is short, it's dangerous, but I do well to win the ball with Balde. And now I can come forward for a counter-attack. I play the counter-attacking play style. So see how my whole team steps up? And I was looking for a cut back into the midfield, but I wasn't able to get that. And the ball is out for a throw-in. But I just want to give a summary of this game since it's already like 4-1. A couple things that you notice is, firstly, your midfielder having incisive is a really good thing. Your striker is gonna be a playmaker for you, so it's also good for your playmaker to have incisive. You have to defend with your attackers first, defend with your midfielders next, before you touch your center backs. Your center backs should be the last thing you touch, and they should be the only reason you should touch them is if your opponent is in the box or about to get a shot away. That's the only time you switch to your center back. Obviously, he scores in this situation because I'm pretty much done with this game. I know this game is a win in the bag, but this kickoff is another opportunity for me to show you how strong kickoffs are. I take the ball to my winger. I try to be as direct as possible, but unfortunately, I lose the ball. But I feel like 9 times out of 10, if you're very direct to your kickoff and try to make the best possible passes every time, it's gonna end with a goal. Have another opportunity for a counter attack. Llorente with the ball. I send it to Pedri, who's my playmaker. Quick 1-2 with my holding. My wide playmaker, I win the ball. And I shouldn't be making just unnecessary driven passes like that. Like I said, I'm gonna show you things that I shouldn't be doing as well. I shouldn't be making long driven passes unnecessarily that way. Now I have the ball with my striker, and as I said, my striker is not even playing false nine. But the positions that Pina winds up in, it almost seems like she's playing false nine. Which is why I figured that you don't necessarily have to play false nine to get your striker involved in the game. This tactic, having my striker on poacher, still does the job for me. And at this point, I'm winning 6-2. The game should be over by now. My opponent should be quitting. And yeah, I'm just gonna skip through some scenes and show you some important things alone. But before I do skip, just peep this attack. You send it to your striker, send your winger on a run, and give it to your winger. Then you can do whatever you want. Give it back to your striker, low driven finesse, good save by the keeper. Your striker is such a big playmaker in this formation. Has to have incisive. It's a must. I lose the ball from this corner, but it's out for a throw-in, so we can try to save ourselves from this counter attack. You know, just send my players backwards. I'm not really committing any player, and I win the ball nicely with Saliba. Now I'm in for a counter attack. Send your winger on a run. Unfortunately, it doesn't reach my winger. Now I could just jockey backwards, switch to my center back, but no pressure. I win the ball nicely. My playmaker, who's my striker, sends the ball to my winger, and now just like that, we're 1v1. Just like that, cut the keeper, spin, low driven. So yeah, I think we basically ended up having one more kickoff goal in this game. Direct as possible, send the ball to your winger, spin around, send your wing back on a run, and now wing back is basically 1v1 with the defender. Oh, that's really strong from Balde, and it's just a tap in for Pina. This game was not that much of an issue. It was pretty much a breeze, but the final thing I'll talk about is mentality when it comes to climbing divisions. I'm somebody who, the game annoys me when the game annoys me, and I took a break for a week from playing the game, and when I came back was when I went from Division 5 to Division 2. So one thing I'll say is take breaks, you know, take breaks with the game. Try to come back stronger. You know, it's just the game at the end of the day. You know, you're not a pro player, except you're trying to be a pro player, which is obviously a different ball game. You know, we don't teach that here. So yeah, at the end of the day, I really hope this tactic, this video in particular, helps at least one person out there. I really hope it helps at least one person to climb divisions, whether you're in Division 7, 6, 5, whether you're in Division 2, 3, 1, you know, regardless of what it is. I hope this game that I just ran through helps you out some way or somehow. And if it does, please do well to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with another video. Thank you.